High above a northern lake, a pair of bald eagles begins another breeding season in a territory they know well. Their partnership is strengthened through repeated flights over the landscape that will support their future family.
Courtship flights help maintain the bond between male and female before nesting begins.
Construction begins as the eagles gather material from the surrounding woodland.
Over many days, the nest expands into a massive structure capable of supporting the breeding cycle ahead.
Soon, 2 eggs rest at the center of the nest, marking the beginning of a new generation. Incubation requires patience, with both adults sharing responsibility over several weeks.
After weeks of incubation, the next stage begins as 2 hatchlings enter the world above the lake.
In their first days of life, warmth and protection are essential for survival. Food deliveries become increasingly important as the growing chicks demand more energy. At this stage, every meal is carefully prepared and delivered piece by piece. Protection from weather is just as important as protection from predators. The lake below provides the resources that sustain the family. Years of experience help the hunter recognize opportunities beneath the surface. A successful catch means another meal for the rapidly growing chicks.
With each passing day, the young eagles become stronger and more aware of the world around them.
Changing weather presents a constant challenge during the nesting season.
The first signs of their future flight feathers are beginning to appear. Curiosity grows as the young eagles become more aware of their surroundings. Food deliveries continue throughout the rapid growth period. Competition between siblings helps prepare them for life beyond the nest. Exposure to changing weather gradually builds resilience. Their appearance is beginning to change dramatically as juvenile plumage develops. Simple movements help strengthen muscles needed for future flight. For the first time, the world beyond the nest becomes impossible to ignore. The young eagles are entering a new phase of development as juvenile feathers replace their early down. Wing exercises strengthen muscles that will soon be tested in flight. The exposed nest becomes a training ground where wind teaches valuable lessons. Although they are growing rapidly, the young birds still depend on their parents for food.
Self-feeding skills gradually develop before independence becomes possible.
Short bursts of effort help prepare the body for its first true flight. Short bursts of effort help prepare the body for its first true flight.
Practice often includes mistakes, but every attempt builds experience.
The world beyond the nest is becoming increasingly familiar. The instinct to fly is growing stronger but caution still outweighs confidence. The instinct to fly is growing stronger, but caution still outweighs confidence. Power and coordination continue to develop through constant practice. Experienced adults provide an example, and the young birds instinctively study. Experienced adults provide an example, and the young birds instinctively study.
The wind becomes both a challenge and a teacher.
Short jumps help transform instinct into practical flight skills. Its first true aerial movements remain brief and carefully controlled. Each attempt builds strength, coordination, and confidence. The nest is no longer the center of their world, but it remains an important place of safety. The nest is no longer the center of their world, but it remains an important place of safety. Observation remains one of the most valuable learning tools available to young predators. Observation remains one of the most valuable learning tools available to young predators. Observation remains one of the most valuable learning tools available to young predators. The young bird begins exploring beyond the immediate nesting area. Learning to identify potential prey comes long before successful hunting. Even as independence grows, the nest remains an important resting place. The transition towards self-sufficiency is already underway.
Simple actions help develop coordination and confidence.
What began as tentative wing exercises has become controlled and confident flight. The young eagle is beginning to explore territory beyond the boundaries of the nest. As confidence grows, time spent away from the nesting site steadily increases.
Hunting skills develop gradually through observation, experimentation, and repeated attempts.
For the first time, the young bird secures food through its own effort. The close association between siblings gradually begins to fade. The young eagle now spends much of its time navigating the world on its own. From a nest high above the lake, a new generation begins its journey into the wild.